Greetings everybody, Sive Morten is here with the forexpeacearmy.com. Let's take a look again on the gold market. So it attracts right now all the attention that exists because on the euro currency we do not see a strong performance in the gold, although on the euro currency, as we have estimated today, also a few interesting moments exist for trading. But now we're taking a look at the gold and what's actually we should expect in the nearest 1-2 sessions. In general, we could say that trading stopped on last week and things that we discussed in the weekend has worked perfect. So grabber indeed has pushed price higher, and as you can see that action was not limited just with some flirting around the top, but market has moved significantly higher. So it was some kind of the breakout. That's why the targets that we have discussed in the weekly report actually were overextended, and the market just moved significantly higher than the targets that we talked about. So currently, based on the 4-time frame chart, so on a daily I do not see something really special. Trend stands bullish. The one thing that probably we could try to catch is a possible another grabber. If it will be formed here with some retracement maybe, we could think about take it and take the position with it. But for now, I do not see a lot of things to do because market definitely is overextended in all time frames. And from the technical point of view, you still need to get some pullback, some retracement to make a decision on possible another entry. Besides, in the current situation, when United States government is going to shut down, actually that could start tomorrow. In these circumstances, yes, this increased uncertainty and so on, which is usually supportive for the gold market. At the same time, it could increase demand for the liquidity, demand for United States dollars. Why? Because when the government is closed and the government authorities are closing, the regulation of the liquidity in the United States also might be not as efficient as usual. And from that standpoint of view, investors could try to protect themselves from these different issues and trying to get a bit more dollars for some case. And that potentially could trigger the technical pullbacks and position closing on the gold, profit taking and so on. Besides some moments we also talked about in the weekend, we said that at the end of the financial year, some other reasons why some retracement technical pullback on the gold is quite possible. So we call you to be very careful to any bearish signs that you could see in the current situation, and just don't ignore it and not just buying and hoping that market will just keep going with the same pace. So be careful. So that's actually what we have on the daily chart. On the lower time frames, on the 4-time frame chart, you can see that market stands in a short-term channel shape, and currently I would say that is interesting background for a possible Jordan bread and butter trade on the bullish side. If you're not familiar with the Jordan, you could just treat it as a kind of the momentum trade, because here we have something like we did in this area. Remember that. So we said this is good for us. First retracement to the 30% support. It's good opportunity for taking the long position, and market keep going higher. The same we have here. The same thrust as here mostly. Market once again at the 30% support. Yes, this drop is faster than this one, and we do not count on the possible same performance to the upside as here. But for scalp trading, that might be some response here to the upside, somewhere back to the 38.55, 38.50 area. And some minor retracement here might happen. Minor on the 4-time frame chart, but in reality, this is approximately $35–40 per contract. It's not small. It's actually not small. This is the setup that we could consider. But since downward action seems a bit strong, we recommend do not take position just because market at the support. As usual, drop your time frames, watch for bullish reversal patterns. Once you will get it, in this case you could try. Otherwise, it will be better to not take it. Next support will be 37.36 in the conference support area, and that's important for overall this bullish tendency that we have in the short term. If somehow market will drop out of this channel, break the confidence, it will tell us that we probably could get some deep retracement. Maybe hand shoulders might be formed here instead, and the scale of the downside pullback might increase. But until market stands above these two levels, it in general keeps the short-term bullish tendency intact. That's what we intend to keep an eye on the gold market. On the hourly chart, we have the same picture but with some more details. That's what we discussed in a weekend, right? So minor butterfly we said, this might be extension to 37.85. Here's might be the hand and shoulders once the butterfly will be completed around the neckline. And actually this has happened, market starts working, although I initially supposed that it might be not as extended action as we already have here. So that market actually, take a look, it even has reached the major target, big target for hand shoulders, 1618 extension XOP. It's really a big target. And on the hourly chart you have the same pattern as on the fall time frame chart, but with the difference that here thrust is a bit smaller and market is coming to the 618 support. In fact, 38.02 here agrees with the 38.12 at this level. So we could say that 38.02, 38.12 is an area where we theoretically could keep an eye on the possible bullish patterns on longer time frames. If we will get it, we could try to use it for taking long position with the target somehow around, as I said, 38.45 maybe, 618 pullback of this whole downside action. That will be minimal target. That's what we could do now. On the higher time frames, on the daily, weekly charts, currently I do not see anything for trading. So market just completed this big upward thrust. We need to get first the reaction and see what will happen. That's only setups on the intraday charts now exist. That's probably all for now for gold. See you next time.